What up, mommy? Welcome to Solid 100, day 52 or 53. I'm your girl, Lisette Soto. It's 10 o'clock at night, and I don't have makeup on. I put this thing on, a little tinted lip. I just don't have it in me. I don't think it's fair that men can just come on with, like, anti-shine powder, and I have to do a whole face. And this is exactly why I wear my sunglasses at night. I wear my sunglasses at night, so I don't have to wear makeup, because I don't feel like it. And maybe one day I will. They'll do the whole professional thing again. But I don't care. I am here to encourage you, mommy, and to give you a word. So listen, I'm very sore. I did like a 2-a-day today, and it was crazy. I went to the gym for one reason. Because when I woke up, every part of me was telling me, you know what? You got time before you go to work. You got time, mommy. You got time. It's 6 a.m. You get in at 10. You can just take your time. You know what? You're going to get out early today at 2. Just go after work. And every part of me was like, just sleep in. I went to bed really late. And it made me ask a powerful question. Whose voice are you going to listen to? Your flesh, the enemy, or the Lord? Did you know that there's 3 voices? There's 3 voices operating in your life. You have your experience or your flesh. You have the Lord, depending on how much word you have inside of you. And then you also have the devil. And the devil can operate through your flesh. He can speak to you and make you believe that they're your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And so this morning when I woke up, I made a commitment to myself for the summer while my daughter going to be a gym rat this summer, because typically I have a small gym here in my apartment complex, and it's all right. Like, they don't have like all the awesome stuff. It's not that great. But I appreciate it. It's got the dumbbells that I need. But now I'm raising the game a little bit. I am upping my game, and I need a lot more equipment. And so there's an awesome gym like 5 minutes from here that's like the biggest crunch in the nation. And I'm like, I like it there. And so I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gym. And on top of that, my church has like a state-of-the-art gym, because they didn't want their congregants to be weak people physically. Because, sometimes you be seeing preachers who are heavier set, and you're like, don't you fast? You know what I mean? That makes no sense. It just implies that they don't have any self-discipline. And so, where am I going with this? Where am I going with this? So in the morning, usually what I've been doing with my daughter here is I'll go to the little mini gym and I'll get a quick workout in. And it's quick because she's like, Mom, can we go to the pool? Mom, can we go play? Mom, go to the playground? Mom, while I'm working out. And so I've had to train her. Mira, mommy, you're going to talk to me when I'm done. When I have my headphones off, then you can tell me what you need. But now I'm like, she's gone, and I'm not being harassed by the Riddler. And so I am going to go full force. And I'm going to go in the morning, because when she went for spring break, I did all my stuff, like all my laundry. I did everything before 8 a.m. and it was glorious. So I decided I'm going to go to the gym 6:30 a.m. in the morning, every morning. Even though I know I need a little bit more rest because I'm a little older, I'm not 20 anymore, but I need a little bit more recovery time. And so I did. I remember waking up this morning and I felt my flesh be like, you know what? Or it was really the enemy being like, you know what? You really don't. You can just do it later. And you know what later means is that you're literally thinking about it all day long until it gets done. So I went to the gym. I got a crazy workout in, and then I walked uphill. Like, I had a second workout. I walked uphill for a good amount of time. And I walked for about, I'm going to say like 45 minutes to an hour. And that was my second workout. And all day I was super dizzy. I was like, I had to lay down a lot of the time because I was really sore. I didn't eat enough. Now I got to eat like a full meal before I go in order to actually survive. And I had two, and I was like delirious. I was dizzy. I was like trying to nap, and I got home and I just plopped on this couch, and I was out for a couple hours. And so, I was excited though because I was able to discipline my flesh and my mind and being like with my spirit and be like, no, I made this decision. Body, get in line. Head, get in line, because this is what we're doing. We are going to build a very strong body this summer, and it requires discipline no matter how I feel. And so throughout my life, I had to decipher which voice was talking to me. It's kind of like you have to think about what you're thinking about. Who is speaking to you? Does it align with God's word, and does it align with what your goals are? And why are you being talked out of it? Why are you being lazy about it? You know what I mean? And it's important for you to know whose voice you are listening to. Every day, we are influenced by these voices. The direction of our life depends on which voice we choose to obey. Point number one, the flesh wants comfort. I want ice cream. My daughter wanted, when we went to Boston, we went to go to a bakery early in the morning to find my mom a birthday cake. And we only found like a panaderia. I think it was like Colombian. And they had ice cream there. And I was like, let's go eat like Salvadorian breakfast. Because we were in East Boston. I was like, let's go eat Salvadorian breakfast. And she was like, let's have ice cream. And I was like, let's have ice cream. And I did it because it was her last day with me. And honestly, the flesh wants comfort. I was PMSing during that time. And so your flesh will always choose what feels good in the moment over what produces growth. I'll never forget, I heard somebody, one of my mentors said one time, I actually enjoy disciplining my flesh. And at the time I was like, you're a nerd. I was like, you are unrelatable. But then I remember the times that I had gone training, or that I trained, like when I trained for softball for college, or when I trained to play soccer for Puerto Rico. Like, I remember those trainings being, the trainings for Puerto Rico, I would puke. Like, I'd be like, I have to go to the bathroom, and I would run across the field and I would puke my brains out. And then I'd come back and train again, drink a little bit more water. I would train for another hour, and then I'd run back and puke my brains out again. But at the end of those trainings, I was probably in the best shape of my life. And that was my goal wasn't to be in the best shape of my life. My goal was to keep up with the rest of the team, because they were they played, most of them were from San Juan area, and I was from Aguadilla, the West Coast. And so there's a lot of competition in the city, and I had to learn to keep up. But I felt, my body and my mind, there was like a satisfaction in the fact that I stuck through those trainings. I would drive. I was 18 and I was driving all the way into San Juan, 2 hours away, 3 times a week, to train. And if you know anything about Puerto Rico, there's a part when you're entering San Juan from the West Coast, and there's like 8 lanes. It's like, and la salida, like the exits are like really quick. Like it'll be like a quick sign, and then the salida is right there. It's not like the exit is farther down. It's like you have to cross all those lanes. And so I had to have the discipline in driving 2 hours there. I had to have the discipline in continuing to go to the practices, even though they were super intense. But then I saw the results of that by actually going to play internationally, and then being in the absolute best shape of my life. And it actually set me up for college, where I redshirt in college. Redshirt means like you don't play. I got a softball scholarship, but you don't play you just train your first year. But they had a soccer team in my first year of college that I went to go play with instead, which is don't ever do that. It's a terrible thing to do if you're in college, because if you get hurt, you lose your scholarship. And so I went to play soccer, and we went on to win the whole thing because of the training that I had the previous year when I went to go play in San Juan. I played soccer in Mayagüez for my university as well. And so that comfort, I actually understood that all the trainings that I was going to do was going to be uncomfortable, but it produced so much growth and so much fruit that I got a scholarship. I was able to play both soccer and softball for my university as well. And so, Galatians 5:17 says, "For the flesh desires what is contrary to the spirit." It does. And if your spirit isn't as big, like your goal is to get these three things in line because you're a three-part being. You are flesh, which means your body. You are soul, which means your mind, your will, and your emotions. And you are spirit, you're a three-part being. But really, your core is your spirit, is who you are. And so if you're all three of those, if you're only exercising your body or you're only exercising your soul by reading or listening or whatever, and you're not strengthening your spirit by reading the word of God, by worshiping, by praying in tongues, if you're not growing your spirit and learning more and spending more time with God, your body, your flesh will overcome your spirit. Your mind, your will and your emotion will overcome your spirit. Your goal is to get your spirit so big that it overcomes those other two things. And so your flesh is always going to do contrary to the spirit. But if your spirit is bigger, you can put your flesh under subjection of the spirit. Yeah. And so the enemy, point number 2 is the enemy wants you to quit. The enemy doesn't need to destroy you if he can simply convince you to stop. And that's by whispering things into your mind. Don't you want to sleep? Don't you want to sleep a little bit longer? Or, you know what? You can just work on those. You can start Monday again. You can just scrap all this. Just start. And then you just see this pattern of like start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. And it's because you give in to what that voice is saying. John 10:10 says the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. So if you're thinking about a thought and you're like, okay, I have this goal. I feel like God is telling me to do this. I feel like I need to get stronger in my body. Like for my example with the gym. And I know that, it's something that like, it's really lacking in my life and I need the discipline. Well, I have to think about the voices that are going on in my head. Is it destroying? Is it steal, killing, and destroying what I'm supposed to be doing? And if I can recognize that thought early on, I'm like, no. You know what? Like today, I was like, you know what? Just for making me doubt that I should go to the gym at all, I'm gonna work out twice. In your face. And yes, I was sore and exhausted, but it's an example as to who are you listening to and how are you responding? Number 3, God calls you to obedience. God's voice may challenge you, but it always leads to life, purpose, and freedom. Isaiah 30:21 says, "This is the way, walk in it." So if you know that God's voice kind of makes you uncomfortable, it's out of your comfort zone, you've never done this before, he doesn't call the qualified. Is that right? He doesn't call people who are he qualifies you. Like you don't have to have imposter syndrome because the Lord is the one who qualifies. You don't qualify yourself. And so you have to accept the challenge head on and then figure it out as you go. Number 4, actually, when you don't feel like praying or serving or forgiving or exercising or staying faithful, that's often when obedience matters most. That's when those little things of like, I always like, if I know I shouldn't be eating this donut during this time and I lo rechazo, like I just be like, yeah, I don't want that donut right now. In my mind, I think like I probably lost a couple ounces just because I made the decision. I don't know why I think that, but it's like, because I made the decision to say no, I'm getting closer to the goal that I have. That's when it matters most. And I always do this with like my reps, or I used to do it with my reps. when I'd be at the gym and it would be like, okay, do 10, I would do 11 because I didn't want to just do the minimum. I wanted to be like, okay, I'm doing, I call it, I do one for good luck, one extra one. But I did one extra one because I didn't want to have the temptation of doing 9 instead of 10. No, I'm going to do 11 just to make sure that 10 gets done. Do you know what I'm saying? Before you make decisions, ask, is my flesh speaking? Is the enemy speaking? Or is that God speaking? Romans 8:6 says, the mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the spirit is life and peace. Hey body, you're not going to mess with me right now. I'm going to tell you what to do. That's your job. Whose voice are you listening to today? I love you, mommy. I don't know if that full audio came through, but hopefully it did. And I will see you tomorrow. Be mindful. Who are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Take note. Nos vemos mañana. Bye.